Hi guys, welcome to my channel, or welcome back to my channel if you're a returning visitor. Welcome. I'm Bianca Rochelle, and here we talk about all things lifestyle, parenting, property, and just anything that I'm doing right now in life I'm sharing with you guys. So here we are, another week. This week, the last couple of weeks, I've returned back to my 9 to 5, my 9 to 5 job, and after being off for like nearly 5 months, I was off for nearly 5 months during this pandemic, and so it was a real big deal going back. So I thought that I would just share that journey with you guys, in case anybody else is. I know furlough is officially ending in October, I think, so if you're still on furlough, there may well be a chance that you're going back soon. So just sharing how it was for me. So like I said, I've been off for like 5 months. So in my department, we actually went on just before the official furlough scheme was announced. It wasn't deemed safe for us to go back to work. So in March, I think it was March, we stopped going to work. And so that means since then, up until like 2 weeks ago, I've been home with my baby girl. In all honesty, I was actually really looking forward to it. When I heard that lockdown was impending, I was actually looking forward to it. I'm a bit of an introvert, so the prospect of just being home with my girl, set up homeschool, had it all ready, this is great. I say homeschool, my daughter's 2, like there's only so much homeschool you can do with a 2-year-old, but that was what my plan was. And then I've mentioned this in another video, but my granddad passed away in April. So he passed away in April, so that sort of just jacked up my zen, happy vibes, enjoying this lockdown. Like, it just sort of got all a bit too close to home. So that was a bit of a bump in the road. But we've all had, whether we've lost people or not, we've all had our bumps in the road on this process, I'm sure. So then we fast forward now to 3, 4, 5 months into lockdown, and we're starting to get calls about we're looking at the prospect of opening you guys back up, getting you back into work, trying to see logistically how we can make that work. And I think for me, this was when the first wave of anxiety really hit. In the back of my mind, I kind of knew that is a possibility that I was going to have to go back to work. But, let's not think about that. Let's not think about going back to work, not going back to work. Let's just live in this moment. And right now, I've got some invaluable time with my daughter. Let's get her potty trained and let's just enjoy the time that we've got at home. So that was my focus. So when the conversation now about returning to work officially started coming up, I started to feel anxious. I did not know how this was going to work. I didn't know what it was going to look like. I didn't know if it was going to be possible. And I remember there was a meeting. With my line manager and her manager, like a team meeting. And in the run up to that meeting, in all honesty, and I don't trivialize being made redundant, but in all honesty, I just wanted to be made redundant, because I couldn't quite see how my girl and how we were gonna go back to nursery. I do shift work as well, so I didn't know how she was gonna adjust to the shifts. Like, she'd gotten so used to it being us, and so I didn't know. I couldn't. The thought of now having to, drop her off and go and do a night shift, or, take her to nursery because she'd not been going to nursery. The thought of having to do that. And I know I'm not alone. Like, I know I'm not the only person who had to have these thoughts. But for me, the thought of having to do that, I genuinely was thinking, oh, please just make me redundant. Like, one, I personally couldn't see how we could go back to work. But two, it's fine. Just make me redundant. I'll cross that bridge when we come to it, but make me redundant. Let me stay at home with my girl. I was very much in that mindset and in that bubble, and so the anxiety was real. And so we had a teleconference call, tele-meeting or whatever it's called. We had one of those, and the opening line was, okay guys, so we've got you on this call, we just want to tell you, don't worry, there are no redundancies. And I was like, oh, okay then, so I'm going back to work. And I think from that point I just went into denial. Now my job is actually a good job, it's a nice job, I like it, it's fine, but something in me just wasn't clicking with going back to work. I remember even like maybe a couple of weeks before, we'd been given our return to work date, a couple of weeks before then, I remember saying to my mum, I don't feel like I'm going back, like something is seriously wrong, like I'm not even exaggerating, I feel like I'm in denial. And so I was really quite worried, because I thought, how am I going to go back when in my head I'm really not going back? It was weird. It was a really weird situation. I'm not quite sure why I was so just the thought alone, I just couldn't entertain the thought. I couldn't entertain the thought of just dropping Elsa off and leaving her, and to my mum's. So it's not like it's anywhere where she's not happy or not safe or anything. Like, she's completely, like, if we're at my mum's and I'm saying, okay, it's time to go home, my girl's telling me, no, I'm staying with grandma. So it's not about her. This was just all about me. I didn't want to leave her, and I was really scared. And also another aspect of it was that we look after my great grandma, and so she's 99, and I thought, I work in a hospital, what does that mean? Like, can I be around my gran when I work where I work? And if I can't, then what does that mean for Elsa? Because my mum looks after Elsa when I'm at work. So if I can't be around my gran, and that means Elsa can't be around my gran, then that means my mum, who looks after Elsa, can't be around my gran, or she can't be around Elsa. Like, how does this all, like, this is where my mind was going, to the point I just had to shut it down. I was like, oh, it's just fine, it's not happening. So I say all that to say, if you are getting ready to go back to work, or those conversations are flying around, well, first of all, sorry, if you are now starting to get notice of being made redundant, and that's not what you want, that's not your plan, that was not your goal, or wasn't a goal, but you know what I mean, it wasn't part of your plan, I'm so sorry. And I truly believe that everything does happen for a reason. So maybe use this as an opportunity to redirect, re-strategize, and just get another ball rolling as this redundancy now starts to come up. But if you're like me and you weren't made redundant and you are just feeling hella anxious about going back to work, denial worked for a while. Denial really did work until it was like a few days away from my first shift. Oh, sorry, and another thing that happened, I've just remembered this, is, so I had like a trial shift, not a reorientation shift 1 week, and on that same week Elsa had a reorientation settling day at nursery, or afternoon at nursery. So in this 1 week, both Elsa and I had gone back to work and nursery just for a day or an afternoon, and that week Elsa got sick. Nothing seriously serious, but every time I thought, okay, if she does this, or if it gets to this point, then I'll call the 111 or whatever they're called. It never actually got to that point. But my child is a very healthy, like, she's not a sickly baby, so the fact that she got sick, I remember saying to my friend, like, okay, so either work is going or nursery's going, but my child has been healthy for 5 months, and then the first week that I'm back at work, she's back at nursery, she's not well. Like, I was fine, but she was just running a temperature, no coughing or anything. I don't think she had COVID. I don't even know if kids can have COVID, whatever they say. But that was another thing that was just really like on my mind. Like, what am I doing? Why? It was mum guilt. It was actually mum guilt. Like, why am I sending my child back to nursery? And why am I going back to work? But yeah, when when the week actually came for us to go back officially, so Elsa to go back to nursery and me to go back to work, when that came, I had to obviously snap out of denial. I couldn't be in denial anymore. Like, you know, I'm going to work tomorrow and Elsa's going to nursery the day after. That's that. This is where we are in life. When that came, I just had to really accept. I had to ask myself, am I going to leave my job? Because I'm not going to do anything by force. So I had to really get myself in the mindset that I'm not leaving this job just yet. I'm going to stay. Okay, cool. So then that means you need to go. And I didn't want to have a bad day. Like, that wasn't the experience I wanted to create. So I really got myself in a mental mindset and frame that I could go to work and expect to have a good day. And, you know, it really helped. I've now been back for 2 weeks and it is really not as bad as I was building it up to be in my head. I'm actually enjoying the shifts. It's nice seeing work friends again. Like, you know, it's not the same obviously, but it's nice sort of having a social element. And because I work in a hospital, you know, it's not just, you know, me tucked away in my own little office, although I do have that option. But, you know, it's nice to be able to see people and meet new people as well, like meeting the new patients and things like that. So that aspect is nice. And as far as mum guilt goes, the first day that I took Elsa back to nursery, we pulled up outside of nursery and she said, "Oh, mummy, nursery." I said, "Yes, Bubs, you know, you're going into nursery today. Is that going to be okay?" She went, "Oh, mum, are there going to be people?" And I was like, "Are there going to be people?" Like, wow. I said, "Yes, Bubs, I think there are going to be people." And then one of her teachers is called Dom. She said, "Is Dom going to be there, mummy?" I said, "Yes, I think so." She said, "Oh, mummy, I love people. I love nursery." And I was just like, okay, maybe this is gonna work. Maybe this is gonna be okay. And she has had a blast. You know, she does 2 days a week. She enjoys it. She's loving it. There's been no more temperatures, no more sickness. So I don't know what that was about that week. But, you know, between work and Granny and Elsa, it's all just running quite smoothly. So I just say all this to say, if you are, you know, having to get your head around going back to work and you're feeling really anxious about it, or you just have this anxiety that you can't quite pinpoint to a specific reason, take it one day at a time. It's not as bad. And if it genuinely is not working, then make a plan, set a plan in action so that you know that there's light at the end of this tunnel. You know that you have an exit strategy and you're not here indefinitely. You have a way out, so that if going back to work is so bad and when you get back to work it's still so bad, you know that you're working on a way out, that you're not just there by force because you need to work. So yeah, I think that's all I have to say. It's a bit of like a mini story time, but that's where I'm at. I'm fresh off a night shift, so excuse the bags under my eyes. But yeah, that's all for this week, guys. I hope you are all well, and if you are going back to work, or if you've been at work, or whatever your situation is with this pandemic, I hope you're keeping safe and well. And yeah, sending lots of love, hugs, peace and kisses. Bye.